Having a lot of tools is like being the guy with a pickup truck. Everybody calls you when they need you. So in this video, my sister-in-law needs me to make a bracket for her security camera. She moved into a condo and I can't drill into the shade structure for the parking lot. So we'll go ahead and put the camera on a bracket and mount it to a really high strength magnet up in the air, and hopefully no one sees it. My table saw is equipped with a non-ferrous blade so I can cut aluminum. In another video I have, it talks about the blade a little bit more. I'm using a little bit of stick wax to lubricate the blade so that way it doesn't cause any galling with the aluminum. The clamps I put on there is to hold the aluminum down tight so I don't have to stick my fingers any closer than I have to the blade with the metal plate. I don't care to do that. My bandsaw gets utilized a lot in a lot of my videos. I'm using it to round the corners. You can see I'm kind of following a pencil line that I put in there. I traced the magnet to make rounded corners on the aluminum, and I'll clean that up on the belt sander in just a second. I'm using my sander just to follow pencil lines that I put onto the aluminum. I'm filleting the corners to make them a little bit more nicer and professional looking. And now I'm going to go ahead and sand the sides vertical and get a nice 90-degree cut on it to make it look like it was stamped out as best I can. Here's the $12 magnet I purchased at Home Depot. It's a 95-pound pull magnet. It has quite a bit of force. I stuck it to some metal, and it actually I had to go get a screwdriver to pull that off there. It's a serious magnet. I just went ahead and marked where I'm supposed to drill. I love using step drills. If you can use a step drill that has the steps a little wider than the part you're drilling, it's great because as you're drilling down through there, you don't have any wobble, so you don't really have to use a center punch to start your drill because it doesn't wobble like a traditional drill, but it does chatter, as you just heard. And then you can see the next step has a slight bevel to it. So right after you're done drilling, if you could just touch it off a little bit more, it'll give you a nice little beveled edge around the circle you just cut. I just tested the bolt, and you can see I flipped it upside down, and I'm going to go ahead and put the drill in the other side and touch the back side off, so that way the back side will have a nice little touch bevel on it too. This is just a little pattern I made earlier using the bracket that came with the camera, so that way I can match the holes up where the bracket's supposed to mount to the part. I'm using a machinist square so I can align the holes of the pattern. Otherwise it's going to look all wonky. I tried to eyeball it and it just wasn't happening. Now I'm just making a transfer. I'm just making the marks on the back side of the aluminum so that way I know where to drill. So just like the first hole I drilled, I'm just touching off on the next step so it has a nice bevel to the hole in it. This is the back side of it. Again, just hitting up the holes, making them a little beveled. Aluminum always gets a pretty good oxide layer on it. I'm just cleaning it off with steel wool so that way I'll have fresh metal exposed for paint. Now I'm just cleaning it with some glass cleaner. I'm lazy. I just need something that'll clean it. I'm using the towels in both hands so that way I don't leave any fingerprints or grease on the part. There's some Rust-Oleum. It says it can do metal and plastic, and it's a paint and primer, so should be suitable. I'm only showing one coat on one side, but I actually did both sides 2 coats. The Rust-Oleum did a pretty good job. I think the paint laid it down pretty well and then smoothed out. Here's the mount for the camera. The camera pops on and off that little mount. Also, the magnets hooked to it or bolted to it, and I used Loctite to hold that on there, so it should last for quite a while. This is the camera put up underneath the parking structure. Again, it was at a condo, and you wouldn't want to drill or do anything permanent and then end up getting charged for it, but you want to still be able to watch your car. So this ended up being a pretty good solution, being that you can't run wires, there's not power, and you definitely can't drill into the structure. So whenever my sister-in-law needs to charge the camera, she can stand on a step stool and pop it off and take it indoors, charge it, and then bring it back out and snap it back on so it can watch your car. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks again.